guys, welcome and happy Thursday. Just a quick check-in. So I got your assignments as you did the groups, and I also wanted to keep open those of you that still have to do the groups. So observing through aa.org. If you go to get to an online AA meeting, I actually found a bunch in the Dayton area. You can search online meetings and it does it by zip code, and there's one like every single day. And then remember, you fill out the thing at the end of the syllabus. So I still will be taking some of the later submissions. There's also the discussion board and making sure that you say that you are here for attendance. And they usually do that for your student loans. So the important thing is knowing that they're keeping track for the student loans, and that they are usually take attendance the first and second week, and then they do it again on the third and the fourth week. So just making sure that you're checked in there. This is a hybrid class. There is the ability to do it online if any of you have been in contact with COVID or feeling sick or whatever. I think they told us in our faculty meeting that they sent out a religious exemption for the vaccine to everybody. That was students and teachers. And just, a few other housekeeping things. So, trying to keep up with any other due dates, and then getting you guys to start thinking about leading your own group, because that will be your first major assignment. So you've got observing the group, which is due basically September 1st, and then creating your own group and leading it. It's going to be a little bit easier if you get a group of folks together and come in here and lead a mental health group. So if you want to do an addiction recovery group, that's fine. If you want to do another sort of mental health group, or some people do wellness and self-care, that's fine too. And the other option where you have all the outlined stuff for you is leading girls circle. So I will have you search for the Girls Circle Manual or different things you could do to lead a group. I also brought in the Nonviolent Communication Workbook today. So if you wanted to lead an NVC group, that's an option too. A lot of those are online. And then really from there, just making sure that you have your discussions in, your attendance in, and learning how to lead the groups for your agency. Because ultimately, it's either this year or next, you guys do your internships your junior or senior year. And a lot of times at those internships, they'll have the interns lead the group. And a lot of folks like a group led in their mental health agency because they can bill for more people. For example, Tower House, they would have you bill for 30 people at once at maybe $30 an hour. So 30 people at 30 an hour is about 900. And oftentimes the agency gets 80% of that, but that still gives you a large chunk of change for leading a group. Or if you create your own material for leading a group, that's another thing. People sell a manual for like a wellness group or something of holistic self-care group. And those also seem to be student favorites. So keep that in mind. Also, going to have you start brainstorming for the third major project that's due. And that's going to be your final paper and everything that you do for your final paper. So I'm making sure nobody's locked out outside, because that one does happen. And if you do, for whatever reason, sometimes they get locked out. So there is a lot of grants that you can do during, during your internship and what you're doing at your internship that can be kind of important to, fundraise for your internship. Sometimes places are dependent on grant money in general for that. So writing the grant, getting that together, and then creating the group. So some people do the grant and the group together, and just want you to consider that. So a good place to start is that grants.gov. And some people just do like behavioral health group, or something of the nature that you can like an addictions group, or even foster care. Some do therapeutic foster care. Others will do the girls circle or transform it into guys circle and do different things of that nature. So again, hello, how are you? How's it going?
Fantastic, man.
Yeah? You hanging in there?
Trying.
I was just getting started. I was doing like housekeeping stuff for if you still hadn't turned in groups assignment.
I know I did it.
I know, yeah.
It was really long. And had one day to do it.
Yeah, how was it? Did you observe the meeting at
Yeah.
one of the Dayton meetings?
It was I don't think it was a Dayton. I think it was Cincinnati meeting.
Okay.
Over, I forget what location.
Yeah.
But it was a Zoom meeting.
Zoom, right. Yeah, a lot of them, it's made it different because, like, in social work, we're used to, like, working with people. So I was just about to crank out the PowerPoint here real quick since we are hybrid. How are your other classes going?
Good so far.
Yeah?
Good. Trying to stay happy.
Graduate next year?
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah.
I should have, 80 something after this semester. So yeah, I'm on track.
Dang, yeah, because then you'll have 95 and graduate with 121.
I thought it was 124.
It changed, so I don't know if like you came in under 124 that stays, or if like because
it went down?
It did go down as far as I know.
Right.
I know, right?
I guess it's better.
But I remember when I did my doctorate, he's like, well, you're stuck with graduating with whatever book that you came in with. So if you came in, like I came in 2008, and they changed it a lot. They actually made it a lot harder to graduate. He's like, but you're good. You came in 2008. You just stick with what you came in with. So I don't know. But we are basically, so you've already observed a group. Our next big assignment is leading a group. And some people like bring folks from their dorms and like lead an addictions group, or like film themselves if you want to do it electronically. That's the next major assignment. The final one is writing up a group proposal and a grant proposal.
So the group thing is like with random individuals?
It could be. You're welcome to bring people you know. I also have material that will show you how to do it start to finish, like Girls Circle. And I'll put that one on. Does that sometimes help? Does it like tells you? In fact,
yeah, my thing, I've been having so much trouble is the syllabus that's on, like that I have isn't your syllabus. So I'm going.
Oh, because it says Tuesday, Thursday still.
Yeah, like
right.
I don't know. It's weird.
I know what you're saying because I looked at it and so that's what we're covering with all of these group things, and then you'll have 3 major assignments. So for now, September, you had observing the group. Then in October, you'll be leading the group, and then November, I guess, proposing, either writing a grant or a group grant proposal, and that's, with discussion boards, that's your whole class, that's all you have. That's the gist of it. So the paper's big enough at the end, it's like 8 to 10 pages, but like, say, what kind of social work did you want to do? Maybe that's where you would start. Where you want to work?
Wanted to work in the school system.
So maybe creating a group for kids in school, or like teens, or after school, foster care.
Is it explained like on your syllabus exactly, or is it just telling you?
It is. Hello.
Hello.
So let's go in today. We'll go in and we'll also see what I have. My computer was dying, so I plugged it in over there so I could do the Zoom for anybody that's on Zoom. Did you ever think when you started 2 years ago we'd be zooming into a class? That's kind of weird. All right, let's see here. Oh no, does this one have that weird ass presentation mode too? I hate that. All right, I'm gonna fix it because I knew how to fix it from the last time. You go into settings. Oh, but then it goes over here. And then display. I guess we are technically early still too. But that's why hybrid is nice, because you can put some of it online, and then you guys can get moving. Any stuff going on this weekend over here?
Homework.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
What are the hardest classes right now?
None of them.
None of them.
It's all pretty easy. I already got all my major classes like done with.
Isn't that weird though, when you're like, man, I thought this was going to be a whole lot harder than this, and then you're like, I actually can do college now. I think I probably could do graduate school. Crap. All right, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of display mode because. Oh, there we go. Now I feel like it's working. Cool. I hope it's working. All right. So if we went into here, holy, it's like. You ever seen that many windows open? I don't know which one did. So you guys are in groups. And if you go into your syllabus, is it called 50H? Is that because it's at night? So do you get the syllabus from here, like content? Okay. I can send out another one.
Because I said the first class, the first week I came and no one was here. So.
Oh, on Tuesday. Is that what you're saying?
No, it was on the Thursday. It was on a Thursday, but no one was here. I think it had like a sign on the door.
Really?
That said go to another room or something.
I feel like we both were here.
I came the first week, the second week.
I mean, maybe we just finished quickly, like.
Got me beat.
Because we start at 5:45 and we may have just gone through the syllabus and called like, all right, we got everything. So here is it 4201 or 4202? It's probably 4202.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yours says 4201, mine says 4202.
It probably is 4202. That would be my best guesstimate. Because there it is, okay. And the Tuesday, Thursday thing was definitely the way they used to have class, but not the way they have class anymore. Which I'm kind of grateful for, because that would be kind of weird. Let's go with, okay. This might be a better syllabus after all, because it gets into, there's going to be 3 major assignments and like final. This one doesn't have the Tuesday, Thursday stuff.
So final actually gonna be a test or a paper.
It's that big final paper.
Oh.
So we're covering all the same material. And then you guys, so this is the group assessment project due this week. You observed an AA meeting from AA.org, and then you fill out this paper at the bottom. Now, creating the group, that is something, so here's the girls circle that I have all the materials for. They sell these for like $10,000, so that's why it's such a crazy big deal. So this Facilitator Manual teaches you how to run a group, and like, say you guys picked week, there's 1 through 10, and it covers like education, sexual abuse, depression, violence, bullying, substance abuse, eating disorders, sexual behavior, juvenile justice, and economics. So if you pick a group here, dear Lord, I see why they sell this for so much money, because it goes week by week. It basically shows you if you were to lead week 1 or 2, here's one of the things you would do.
Oh, is this like a group type thing?
It is, yeah. So this gives you like start to finish, like materials you would want, materials you'll need, and things of that nature. So let me search it again. Girls circle. Anybody get any COVID yet? And you're all's
Hopefully not.
right. We should be healthy from it, but it is kind of scary. Like the boogaboo is going to come get you, because we're going to have, so they have vaccine mandate apparently, but they sent out the religious exemption to everybody, so
So the school?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if you have like either religious or you have a medical exemption, like say you got bad allergies or something, and when you get a shot, you get messed up. Or if you have like, you could even be a conscientious objector, but you fill out that form. I think they send it to everybody. But it's September 17th for the first shot and October 15th for the second one if you get it. Here we go. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that we had a girls circle. So yeah, it usually opens up with a ritual. And then it might be like 5 minutes of meditation or a wellness group. Then you could do highs and lows of the week. This is when you lead your group. So you observe the group first. We're going to lead them starting in October. Then like show like maybe a video or a TikTok, and then conclusion. Some people do then a prayer, teach you how to do a self-admiration chart, introduce each other. Oh, there's the 5-minute meditation. So that's the whole opening ritual. Catch up, give a recap of your week from the week before the session. Think about situations that triggered you or negative moments. Give information on 2 different situations and what happened. Think about ways the situation could have went better. End with advice on helpful ways to properly handle stressful, high-tension situations. So some people do an addictions group and like do a check-in. Well, I feel like the first semester I taught it 2 years ago, there was a lot of people that did, a lot more acting. Like, and then during COVID, they brought in their dormitory roommates. Do you guys still live in a dorm?
I don't know, the new building is built.
So are those the better dorms to be in, or how does that go?
There's like 3 other people in there, and there's a kitchen.
So is it better, you think, or is it kind
Yeah,
of?
way better.
Okay, okay, that's good. Then, I wonder why this manual, okay, we're gonna dip into.
So when we do the groups, we're just following that PowerPoint and picking a topic.
Right, yeah, it could be any one of these I'm about to upload. Let me put that up there now before I forget. So, content. Actually, we're gonna go into, this would be your second assignment. The first assignment was observing. Does the internet ever suck for you guys? Or is it just me? Like, I feel like it doesn't always move on out. Like the internet has a weak ass signal. And I might switch to staff, because you know sometimes it's better on one signal and then we had this the first year when you guys had intro. I think either the internet or the TV sucked. And it seems to be like a theme. All right, so new assignment that we'll do. Also, did you guys hear about the social work club? Are either one of you planning on going to graduate school?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So sometimes it helps to get involved in those. Nikita would be in charge of that. Do either one of you have Nikita for class? Okay. So she's the one I am one of the advisors, but because I have 2 kids at home, she's like, let me take the lead on it this semester because I'm always trying to run and help these crazies here. Let's see if she. This is what my wife got to wake up to like 3 minutes ago. So that's all day. She's like, she was mad because he's in his little. She's like a year older than him, and he's sitting in a chair. So that's kind of what we're. She's like, how about I try to help you out here with going on. So yeah, this won't be due until, like, you may lead your group anytime in October. You can like pick a date, but maybe like have your plan going on how you would lead it. Do you guys know where you want to do your internships?
Where do I want to do it?
Yeah.
Hospice, some of that.
Hospice?
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do hospice. It's actually where I, once a month I sit for a hospice overnight for 24 hours. It's tough. They're watching somebody die. A lot of them are dying of COVID right now.
What are the options?
There's a lot, like even the juvenile detention center, there's a domestic violence shelter, there might be a school if you want to do schools.
I'm going to school.
I'm doing St. Joseph.
Oh, really? Where's that?
Over there by Coney Island.
Oh, yeah.
I think they changed the name of it.
No, I know what you're talking about, Alter Crest.
Yeah.
Will they let you intern there?
Pretty sure.
Did you just know about it or like
I don't know.
stay there for a minute? Because they have a few programs. One is like their sex offender program. Other is like kind of in-house if you're like needing housing. Why does this not want to work? I want to smash the computer, but anyway, I'll get it up for you guys. It's just not working today. Go back to the manual. It is. Who have you talked to about the St. Joe's?
It was actually one of them was my just a friend. It was he works over in, I want to say the west side. I forgot what facility he works at.
Okay.
But he was talking to me about it. Said they got some internship opportunities up there and over on the east side at Hillcrest. Also talked to somebody there, have their card, I don't remember the name. But basically, yeah, they told me they did have some internships over there. I might look into that. If not, like I said, school, that'll be my next option. Because you know, Cincinnati Public is hiring severely.
Oh, for like social workers.
Yeah, for anything, honestly.
Right, yeah, because they've got a lot of openings. But I think you're right about. Okay, here we go. So let's see if it will let me attach. Don't you have like attachments? Dear.
Like a link?
Yeah. Like how do you attach? You know what I mean? Like,
So you should
see that, but.
At the bottom, like I think one of those ones.
yeah.
Oh. I see it. Those are weird symbols, isn't it? Normally something else. That's good. See, learning a new, how are you guys doing with learning this new stuff? Because it messes me up.
It's not bad, but it's not good.
I know. Like I was used to Schoology by now. So, wait a minute. Didn't I just, okay, this is, I type it into So yeah, the reason I like this, like I told you, they sell it for about $10,000 because it tells you everything about how to lead a group. Like you could use this at St. Joseph. Let's see, it would be under G. I'm just going to go straight to G. A, B, C, D, F, G. There it is. This is the better one. Aha. Okay. Relationship with peers curriculum. So this has it week by week. So tell me if you guys actually get this too. All right, that's the right one. Yeah, I probably have to hit like save and close. So this will show you piece by piece, like how to lead a group. Is there another class that later? I could close the door if that's distracting. Maybe I'm the only one with a diagnosed ADHD. Oh, I gotta make it visible to you guys. There you go. Make visible to users. All right, cool. So, in terms of that facilitator's manual, here's where, and you can even pick, if you see something that stands out to you right now, you can put that up into the discussion. Like, I want to do week 1. So week 1 is connecting with each other. Week 2, this is a 10 or 12 week group called Girl Circle. You can do it with Boy Circle too, but like ages 13 to 19. Week 2 is labels, exploring a new perspective. Week 3 is expressing myself. Week 4 is accepting all different parts of myself. Week 5 is cultivating respect. Week 6 is giving voice to feelings, and so is week 7. That's part 2 of giving voice to feelings. Week 8 is romantic relationships. What is it worth to you? That's like a favorite one. Week 9 is girlfriends or girl fights. That's another favorite one for some reason. I don't know why. And week 10 is wholeness and completion. So is that able to like send it over to you guys? Or you like, the reason, again, it's so cool is if you go to each week, it breaks down how to run a group. And it'll get you your like magic number of 15 to 25 minutes.
So is this like a 1 day type group or a week?
You guys would each just pick 1 week. But yes, normally groups at mental health agency could run for 10 weeks. That's like the average number of groups. So, and yeah, this is your normal format. The opening ritual, begin with a ritual that marks commencement, like example, lighting a candle, ringing a bell, having each participant say 1 word about how they're feeling, silence or music, sharing a special reading, holding hands. Then next you do the theme introduction. The introduction of the theme is presented by a facilitator, and usually a short synopsis of what is planned for the meeting. The chosen theme will usually be tied into the activity and will be discussed and shared in greater detail at the time. Then you'll do a check-in. So it's time for people to check in with the groups and express whatever they wish or perhaps say about the theme. You might want to use a talking stick or a walking stick. Respect is emphasized and given by listening. Girls are welcome to say as little or as much as they choose. 1 person speaks at a time. Examples are feeling the theme of a high and low of the week or what happened at school that day, what they're presently feeling, a pressing family issue or problem, concerns about a relationship, a success, a disappointment, or a fight. Verbal activity, so this would be the activity, might be discussions or like creative activities, almost like what you saw in the AA meeting. People are talking about like triggers or how do I stay sober, how do I stay off that crack rock or whatever they were talking about at the time, like just not taking that first drink. So having discussions, or if they hang out at a bar too much, how to stay away from that. Then sharing of the activity. Well, The activity allows them to express themselves in a safe and protected environment. So it's a confidential group. Like this shouldn't be like, as social workers, we honor confidentiality, you don't share it with anyone else. And the sharing activity is when the circle convenes and allows time for sharing. Through careful questioning, girls begin to share responses and feelings, interpret themes, explore commonalities, and make a connection between themes and their experiences in the real world. Then a closing ritual. So that's like every week you go through all those same things. Closing ritual brings a special close to the shared experience and sends the members off safely with a positive tone. Hopefully, a sense of gratitude and respect reflects the intimacy that has developed for the girls. So here's, if you did, these are all the weeks again, and just like the different activities you'll do, and then materials. And if you needed us to like check with our department for materials, or if you're just gonna run it off of PowerPoint, that's fine. This was written like old school before PowerPoints, but you could just type it up. Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
good, how are you?
Good. So if you chose week 1 of leading a group, that is known as connecting with each other. So like the activity would be, you're gonna create the group guidelines. You might have each one of us write one up on the chalkboard or whatever is there to write on. If we had to go to the other room to lead the group with a chalkboard, we can. Then also you do the commonalities bead game. So you're gonna pick one of these weeks. This is just week 1. But the reason I like this $10,000 manual, they sell it because it gives people, we would run this group at Lighthouse Youth Services. So it gives people stuff to run in the meantime. Is it finally getting hot outside?
No, I feel cool outside.
Does it? Because I'm about to say, maybe it's because the sun's beating in there, it's heating up our room. But so materials you would want is like poster and markers for group guidelines, assortment of colorful beads, a journal for each girl, and then plastic baggies for the beads. The purpose is to help girls become more aware of the relationships to themselves and others, to have girls express themselves in the group. And then, so you're the facilitator. As a facilitator, you'll have a journal for each girl. And because it's a 10-week group, like they'll be journaling is the idea, like their homework they take home. It could be a simple wire-bound notebook, prepare the beads in plastic baggies, and then this goes into, here's your opening ritual, here's your theme introduction, and you guys will pick one of these weeks. And then give examples, like sometimes in society, girls' relationships are strained, backstabbing, competition, judgment, fighting. Girls Circle aims to develop true relationships and friends and learn to relate to each other in a healthy, honest way and learn to support each other through life experiences. Girls often place more significance on the relationship with boys or men than the relationship with girls, but love relationships can come and go. And for this reason, it's important to develop female relationships that offer long-lasting friendships that can support us through good and difficult time. The purpose of Girls Circle is to unite young women and girls together. It's meant to be a safe place and to help them have successful, meaningful relationships. So your icebreaker could be like, given the purpose and reason for having this Girls Circle, what type of guidelines can we create to make this possible? And they may say confidentiality. How do we treat one another? How can we create safety in the group? This is where you might do the flip chart, and then they write up their own rules. This is as you're leading it. So again, this booklet details, and why I uploaded it for you, is you can pick any one of these weeks to lead for your group. And if one stands out to you now, you guys can call it. Like, I want girls fights or girls friends.
3 or 6.
What's that?
I want 3 or 6.
Did you say 3 or 6?
Yeah.
Okay, expressing myself or giving voice to feelings. Okay, that's cool. And I'll put up a discussion so you can like write which one you want to lead. And we have 30 days to prepare for this. So you don't have to lead anything until October let's see here, October, November, yeah. Because we have, I feel like there's supposed to be so many in this class. How many of your class is like juniors and seniors? You guys know, are you all the same grade?
I'm not sure, I'm a junior though.
Junior, junior, junior. I think you are all juniors. Another reminder before I forget again, though, Nikita is doing the social work club. So if anyone of you does want to join the social work club, it does help for like in graduate school, you put on your resume. I was a part of the social work club. I wish somebody told me that in undergrad. That's why I had such a hard time starting graduate school. So any questions about this? Maybe that's kind of where I'm going.
So this is like an individual private.
I mean, traditionally we've led the group in class. Like, I'll sit down with you three, and then you lead the group to us. Right. And then the week you choose, I'll sit down. Like, it just teaches you how
we doing the week that we chose.
you do the group that you chose. Correct. You don't have to memorize every single group, though, I tell you. Even when you lead groups at an agency, you hopefully will have this manual because the agency has money. You can buy a $10,000 manual. Like, that's where we got it from Lighthouse Youth Services in Cincinnati because they bought the manual. So, all right, you guys pick those. I promised I'd crush a PowerPoint. We created this groups class together at the University of Cincinnati in 2013. So now I'm showing my age with that, if I can't find it. And Jen and I taught this class, and then this is the gist of it. So you'll hear Jen talking. Group leadership. Tell me if it's
As we look at the objectives for the week, I want to remind you to review the other materials for the week prior to viewing the lecture, as it is intended to supplement your reading. By the end of the week, you should be able to identify and describe leadership styles and the personal qualities of group leadership. As we begin our discussion of group leadership, we see a quotation from our text, which reads, "The leader plays a vital role in both the dynamics of the group and the outcome of its members." Our next few slides aim to highlight the ways in which group leaders impact their groups and the various styles, qualities, and techniques that guide group leadership. Let's talk first for a minute about leadership and anxiety. In your Hill and Harris reading this week, you read about two different types of anxiety that often accompany group leadership: content anxiety and process anxiety. Content anxiety refers to whether or not a leader knows the material to be covered in the group.
So, just so you know, that is very normal. Like when you first get into social work and you have to like work, and say you're leading the group for the first time, it sucks. You know what I mean? It's like you're scared, you gotta, and maybe some people are just a natural at it, but like knowing the material, like even memorizing that girl circle manual you might have in front of you. So it's okay and normal to have that anxiety, and everybody goes through it. That's the whole point of having you guys try to lead a group now, so that when you get to internship and get hired on your job, you don't have that like on the job. It's like you get a chance to practice now leading the group. Let's see if this works.
Let's talk first for a minute about leadership and anxiety. In your Hill and Harris reading this week, you read about two different types of anxiety that often accompany group leadership: content anxiety and process anxiety. Content anxiety refers to whether or not a leader knows the material to be covered in the group, while process anxiety refers to the ability to control the group when certain behaviors occur. Both of these anxieties can be addressed through preparation, but group leaders who are experts in content may still experience process anxiety, either running a group multiple times. Preparation and co-leadership are 2 tips for beating anxiety, and you can refer to the Hill and Harris chapter for even more helpful suggestions. Keep in mind that anxiety can be helpful for leaders, as it activates us and can serve to increase attention and focus. Avoidance can also result from anxiety, which ultimately serves to maintain anxiety rather than actually avoiding or addressing it. As we know, leaders help get organized and develop, and the style in which they execute these roles have an impact on group dynamics. Most group leaders show flexibility in their style, working to match their behavior with the purpose of the group and its membership. Leadership styles include the conventional authoritarian approach, where the leader takes on the role of the expert and demands obedience from members, while the democratic approach is less directive and more group-centered. Democratic leaders tend to facilitate rather than direct group members, and rely on trusting the group members to take care of themselves. A laissez-faire approach means providing no structure or direction to the group, and instead the group operates on its own, which may result in a lack of clear purpose or goals. Leaderless groups rotate the leadership, which may or may not include some kind of leadership training. This style can be constructive, but it can also be destructive to groups, and not an appropriate model when members are experiencing moderate to severe disturbances. Regardless of style, leaders must promote sharing among members within the group, and are wise to consider the type of group and its purpose. A task or
So you guys may see this with you in your classes, like you'll have different teachers, some of the authoritarian, like they lay the smack down. If you're on your phone, you might see some that are like laissez-faire, and like whatever. You might have some that are democratic and have you vote on when your assignments are due or how they're going to be done. And or even leaderless. And they're saying there's pros and cons to all of them. Probably somewhere in the middle is going to be the best. And in this class, you guys may figure out like what type of a leader you will be, like when you're doing your groups in your social work job or your social work internship. So think of your
So one of the
traits.
focuses this week is to talk about leadership, and we're going to do that by thinking about 2 components, traits and skills. Traits are the who I am as a leader, those things that we bring as part of our own individual approach. And the skills are the what I do. And those are things that may come naturally to us, but typically we've learned them, we may model them. The skills approach more has to do with the behaviors and the actions. Let's look at them each individually.
So yeah, this list of traits here.
Here you see some traits that group leaders display. Group leaders are courageous. They're willing to model. Group leaders are very present and genuine. Group leaders are caring and believe in the group process. Group leaders remain open and are non-defensive. They're culturally aware and empathic. Group leaders are powerful and possess stamina. Group leaders are committed to self-care and increasing self-awareness. Group leaders possess a sense of humor, are inventive, and are dedicated. The trait approach to leadership is not supported by the literature or the research, but this trait approach can help the leader and the group work more effectively together as they strive to achieve goals.
So the next round is like what you'll do as a group leader.
Now looking at skills, we see that group leaders should be able to demonstrate active listening and reflecting as part of their leadership. Group leaders need to be able to clarify and summarize what's going on within the group, as well as facilitate and empathize. Group leaders display the ability to interpret and question, as well as linking member comments to unite members of the group. Group leaders need to be able to both confront and support, which may happen together. Group leaders need to be able to do blocking, which we think about, but basically, as group members begin to demonstrate behaviors that do not belong in that group, whether it be gossiping or asking a lot of why questions, one skill that leaders display is being able to block that. Other skills include assessing, modeling, and suggesting. as well as initiating and evaluating and terminating.
So that's something you'll also learn in your social work skills, is like how to finish with a client. A group always ends, and oftentimes they end quicker than most of the time you'll be with a client. Average time with a client could be like a half a year to like 2.5 years, whereas a group is only like 10 weeks or 12 weeks at the longest. So that's something to consider. And here's some of the roles you'll take on. These are the last few slides, like take on as a group leader. Here's some of the things you'll do, and like, it's okay if you're not perfect at like.
Let's talk a little bit about group leadership roles. Group leaders have various roles throughout the life of the group, and they include traffic director, when leaders help members become aware of behaviors that open communication channels, and those inhibit communication as well. The role as traffic director is both proactive and reactive in the prevention of certain behaviors, and comes across in a non-judgmental way. A similar role is that of modeler of appropriate behavior. And so leaders must be responsible for being very intentional about the actions that they exhibit and the way they demonstrate things like communication within the group. Specific behaviors that modeling may help with include self-disclosure, and role plays can offer an opportunity for modeling as well. Group leaders may pay careful attention to voice tone and body language as part of their role as modeler of appropriate behavior.
And the self-disclosure one is kind of important to throw out here. And they say this all the time. When you're working in therapy or working with clients, you only want to self-disclose when it is beneficial to your client. That kind of goes along with, confidentiality. You're not going to share anything that they share. Sometimes if somebody has a similar experience, you want to tell about your experience. And again, that's only appropriate when it's like beneficial to the client. If it's not very helpful, it's best to probably just keep that one to yourself, if that makes any sense, because sometimes we can overshare. You may co-lead in your groups in the future, especially at the internship and whatnot. You may have, I had to lead a trauma group with 2 other folks, and you just kind of pass the baton.
Co-leadership is an opportunity for 2 leaders to collaborate in a mutually determined manner, which means that they have taken some time to decide how this co-leadership experience and relationship will work in order to facilitate group work. Co-leaders may be especially helpful with groups of 12 or more due to the size, but can also be very effective with smaller groups and when working with children. Co-leaders are typically most effective when they share their thoughts about the group and they're on the same page, but they bring different skill sets and behaviors to the group, so they complement one another. Co-leaders work together in the planning and reflection, as well as evaluating the group. So really each of the steps co-leaders should work together in. Supervisors can train both leaders, or supervisors can participate as a co-leader with a supervisee.
I actually had a bad experience with the co-leader where like they would show up 15 minutes late every time. They have sometimes an excuse to leave early, or just like any of the responsibility stuff. So that's the one downfall there could be to co-leadership. Now, if you both are like vibing together, it can be a nice shared partnership where like you can actually even get a break and go take a break while they're leading, and then they take a break while you're leading. So it depends on, it's just like group work. You guys ever do group work here and you're like, why did I do that group work? And I did it all, or sometimes you like it and you don't have to do as much. Do you guys have group projects too?
No.
Really? It's probably for that reason, because like if you get a bad group participant, it can go downhill real fast. So here's your advantages and disadvantages, co-leadership, and then the summary basically.
Like with most things, there are advantages and disadvantages, and in our text, Claudia points out a handful of advantages of co-leadership, and I encourage you to refer back to these on page 72. They include dealing with difficult situations, modeling, feedback, shared specialized knowledge, and some pragmatic considerations. There are also potential limitations to group leadership, which include lack of coordinated efforts, too leader-focused, competition and collusion. And again, these can be found in more detail on your text on page 73. As we summarize at the end of this lecture here, we keep in mind that group leaders may expect some anxiety, either content anxiety, which is concerned with material covered in the group, or process anxiety, which refers to the ability to control the group when certain behaviors occur. Leadership styles may vary, but leaders should be aware of how leadership style matches the type and the purpose of the group they are leading. Traits and skills also play a role in leadership, with traits describing the who I am as a leader, and skills describing the what I do aspect of leadership. There are four distinct group leader roles, and then also 5 strategies for managing conflict that we've explored. And each of those are going to depend on where the group is and the group leader being able to meet group needs in that moment. Finally, co-leadership provides leaders with the opportunity to collaborate and train.
I'm turning off subtitles just because they're annoying. You guys like the subtitles?
I'll just listen to it.
Right, I don't think that they help just because they are. The microphone might be somewhere else. I don't know, maybe I can't find
Repeating every word you say.
it. I know, right. That's what I'm saying. It does good when I'm speaking into it, is I think the mic is here. When it's like heard over there, it's not so good. Anyway, so any questions? Like, I know leading a group can be anxiety provoking. And as mentioned, that's probably okay, because sometimes anxiety is what like motivates us to get our crap done in time, to like get all of your college material in. Well, actually, if you guys are doing grad schools, about this time next year, you'll be like submitting your, applying to graduate school so that you know if you're going to go into one, like when you graduate. So anxiety can be good, as it can get you to jumpstart, or if it like causes you to freeze, it can cause more anxiety. But like leading a group, sometimes you're like, I can't do it, and then you do it, and you're like, I don't know why I was so worried about it. Like, it's really okay. It is helpful to have supportive people around, and like as mentioned, like a co-leader that can help you out and whatnot. But I will get up that girls circle material for you guys, and the due date is not for 30 days, so just like picking a week, and that will be like the discussion, maybe why you picked it, and then kind of go from there if that works for you guys. Any questions on anything? Anybody interested in the social work group? Social work club, that's what it was. You don't have to be, but
What do they do with it?
they probably just like get together and kind of work on stuff. Because also in a year and a few months, you guys will be able to take the licensure exam to like pass your social work licensure. So like maybe even talk and discussion, prepping on that, even bringing in a speaker that can help prepping for your social work licensure, get you like just connected within the community. You guys going back home when you graduate?
More than I do.
Yeah, I'm only an hour away.
I know. Which town are you from?
Me?
No, I know where you're from.
No, I'm from Pittsburgh.
You're from Pittsburgh, so you're not that far either, are you? Is that like?
Well, it took me 4 hours to get here now.
So we can talk if, it sounds like all of you maybe are applying to grad schools.
Cause it's only a year, right?
It is, yeah, as long as we keep our accreditation, like that's the key. Dr. Allen and I have been like working hard to keep that going on, because they may be doing a visit here in like the next few months, so they might even want to sit in on one of our classes.
Yeah.
That's what they do like at the other schools I've been at. I don't know if that's like the case, but. You guys okay with hybrid material where you got some of it in class and some online?
Yeah. So is it like optional? I have a Zoom, you can tune into class via Zoom or?
Right, yeah. Just ask your question on the like Zoom camera there so that I can know that you were watching.
I was wondering, I know where this three in this class.
Right, yeah, correct. That's correct. That's why, and that's why I made it a hybrid, is we very well could get shut down. You know what I mean? Even with a vaccine mandate, I think the research is saying like most people that are getting it might be unvaccinated, but there's a ton of people that got the vaccine that are also getting it. Are you guys hearing anything? I mean, I try to stay on top of it.
I didn't hear nothing.
And I try to give you guys the full choice. Like you're able to, let me make sure I end this. You're able to get the vaccine. You're also able to use a medical exemption. So it's
So they sent y'all an email? Oh, we didn't get them yet.
they sent us the medical exemption, and in our meeting today, they're like, I think they sent everybody the